everyone, it's Stephanie here, and today I have a video to share that uses the July Simon Says Stamp card kit called Summer Party, which features this great stamp set called Cupcake Party. I'm also going to be using this Sunshine exclusive die from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to be creating a card to celebrate Canada Day. It falls on July 1st and is our main holiday in the summer, and I thought this kit would be great to create a card to celebrate it since it has the great fireworks stamps with it. So what I've done is I've just cut out the Sunshine die and cut it down to size using Neenah Solar White cardstock, and I've also cut a piece of the Be Creative tape that will fit perfectly within that die that I've already cut out. So I've just peeled off one side of the adhesive backing, and I'm just laying that against the back of the Sunshine die cut piece there, and I'm just going to push that on really good so that it's fully adhered, and then it's going to stick to my table a little bit there because it's kind of pushing through the die cut part. But once I have that on there, now I have adhesive that's fully inside all of the die cut pieces of that Sunshine burst there. And my plan for this card is to actually have the sunshine mimic the fireworks, so I want it to kind of look like it's what's coming off of the fireworks when I put those stamp pieces on. So I just went ahead and sprinkled on the Glitter Ritz Cool Highlights glitter, and I'm just kind of burnishing that in with my fingertip and pushing it all around so that it fully fills all of the spaces there and covers all that adhesive. And then I'm just going to go ahead and dust all that off, and then I'm going to pull the backing off of the other side of the adhesive piece. So you just want to be careful because, as you can see now, it's just a very thin layer of adhesive in between all of those die cut pieces. But when I adhere this onto the red cardstock, it gives a really cool effect because you can see some of the red coming through because it's pretty transparent where that glitter was, but you have all of the glitter that's inside all of those spaces. So it just kind of gives a subtle bit of that red to show through. So now for the sentiment on the card, I want to have Canada Day on the bottom, but I didn't like the color of the red for this particular card. It was a little bit too light, and I wanted it a little bit darker to match the cardstock that I've used. So I just went ahead and used a Copic marker and put all of the letters that I would be using onto a piece of acetate, and then just went ahead and colored them and then set that aside to dry. And then I'm going to go ahead and work on the rest of the card, which is going to be the firework burst there. There's one larger one and one smaller one. And my plan is to use the larger one over the center area of the die cut and then have some smaller ones around it. So I'm just going to stamp this onto Neenah Solar White cardstock with Red Royal Simon Says Stamp Mid-Tone Shadow ink. And I just stamped a bunch of them. I'm not going to end up using all of these. But I'm going to go ahead and cut them out. And I could have just used a circle die to go around the edges of the fireworks, but I wanted to take the time and kind of cut a little bit more detailed around them. So I just left a little bit of a white border and then cut them all out around all of the little pieces that are coming out of the firework burst. So now you can see there I have them all cut out. I have 4 of the smaller ones and 1 larger one. And now I'm just going to stamp another piece to go with the sentiment, which is just going to be the happy part. And I'm using the Happy stamp set, which just recently came out from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm just going to use VersaFine Black Onyx ink and go ahead and stamp that right onto the banner there. And then my plan is to adhere this to the front of the card in the top area where the firework bursts are going to be. I'm just going to adhere this in between the larger one and then the smaller one that I'm going to put on top. I'm just going to sandwich that right in the middle there. So I'm going to go ahead now and start to adhere all of the firework parts. So I'm just going to use the biggest one there, like I had mentioned, and put it right on the opening area there, just to have it appear as the biggest one and then the smaller ones kind of around it, just to kind of mimic what a firework looks like when they go off in the sky. So I'm just going to kind of position that where I want it. And then I've cut the little banner piece down to fit in the area that I want it to be. And you'll see in the finished card, I kind of ended up moving it a little bit more slanted down. Once I had the card finished, I didn't like that it was so straight. So I kind of angled it to mimic the pieces of the die cut. So, and now I'm just going to go ahead and continue adding the fireworks. And I'm going to add one right onto the top of that banner piece with foam adhesive, right in the center there, and then that's going to be the main firework. And then I'm just going to add the smaller ones around, figure out where I want them, and just go ahead and adhere all those onto the card front with foam adhesive as well. And then once I have all of those on, I'm ready to go ahead and start assembling the card base. So I just have a piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock. It's cut down to a standard size card, which is 4¼ by 5½ inches. And I have it as a top folding card, so the fold is at the top. And I'm just going to adhere the finished piece with the fireworks right onto the card front there, leaving a big enough margin at the bottom where I can fit the rest of my sentiment there. So you could see earlier I kind of laid it on top to figure out where I wanted it. And now I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife and pull those letters off of the acetate piece, which they'll come off super easy, which is why I use the acetate to color them in. And I'm just going to kind of position them how I want them on the card front. And then once I have everything adhered onto the front of the card how I like it, I'm just going to use my glitter pen and my Stardust stickles and add a little bit more sparkle to the actual firework pieces that I've adhered on there. So I'm just going to use the pen and kind of trace some of the lines of the fireworks, and then take the Stardust stickles and put that into the center of each of the fireworks there. And then once I have that completed, the card is done. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.